Okay, we were just beginning on number 3 on page 4, the last page of our lesson 4 notes. So I was explaining about the arrows. So let's go ahead and start. Notice the directions do say write the corresponding order pairs too. So when X is 0, Y is 3. And don't write y equals 3, just write 3. Your head should be saying find y, but we don't write y as 3. This is function notation. The x is in parentheses, the y is the answer. And so it said write the corresponding order pairs, and I like it when they say that because then we can go back and check. Is the point 0, 3 on the graph? Yes. Next, when x is -1, what's y? And we can see that's 0. So if we've done it correctly, the point -1, 0 should be on the graph, which it is. And I'm telling you, students could save a lot of points if they did that every single time they did one of these. Because if you accidentally wrote something else, you would see it's not a point on the graph. So it's pretty easy to find your mistakes. When x is 2, y is 3. So that means the point 2, 3 should be on the graph, and it is. Yay! Okay, next we have y equals 4. Because see here how they say find x? So x equals what? So y equals 4. So we're on the y-axis. And when y is 4, trace over to the graph, draw a point when you hit the graph, and then go down to see what x is. X is 1. And that corresponds to the order pair 1, 4. Remember, you have to list them in alphabetical order. X first, Y second. Is the point 1, 4 on your graph? Yes, it is. So far, so easy, right? Here we have Y equals -5. So we go down to -5 on the y-axis, and I see a point here on the left, but I also see a point on the right. And remember when we did one like this earlier, I said you have to write both points to get full credit. So x equals, let's do our first x. So when y is -5, what is x? Trace up to the x-axis and you can see -2. And x equals, so when y equals -5, trace up to the x-axis, that is 4. So if we've done it correctly, the point -2, -5 should be on the graph, and the point 4, -5 should be on the graph. So let's check. -2, -5, yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, -5, yep. So we can walk away and go, yes, I got those correct. I checked them all with the ordered pairs. And horizontal intercepts. Horizontal, this is the x-axis. So this is just another way of writing x-intercepts, by the way. So sometimes they'll refer to the x-axis as a horizontal axis. Sometimes they'll call it the x-axis, same thing. So immediately I go, oh, horizontal intercepts, x-intercepts, that means y is 0. So when I go to write my ordered pair, I know to make y 0. And remember, intercepts are always written as points, because if you go back to your notes from the previous day, intercepts are the point or points where a graph crosses the x or y axis. So they always have to be written as points, intercepts. So I look on the x-axis and I go, oh, whoa, there's 2 x-intercepts. The graph crosses here at -1, 0, but it also crosses here at, what is that, 3, 0? 1, 2, 3, 0, yes. So -1, 0 and 3, 0. They're both the x-intercept. So there's two of them. I'm kind of writing messy, aren't I? Too many videos today. Okay, and last but not least, vertical intercept. Vertical is the y-intercept. And remember, the y-intercept means x is 0, so you can get your order pair ready, 0, comma, what? So when x is 0, it crosses the y-axis at 3. And there we go. And like I said, you had a quiz just like that I was going to give you in class, but I think I'll do it for a review for our test. So I'll include that with those videos. Okay, we're going to skip number 4 because that is actually a Math 120 problem. And we're going to move down to number 5. So just put a cross on number 4 and we'll move down to number 5. Put a paper underneath just to make this easier. Okay, so this is the last of our review of functions from this lesson. So determine if the following are functions. So we did this on the very back page of lesson 3. We learned about functions and we determined if they're functions. So to review, the definition of a function is each x value is assigned exactly one y value. So -3, -1, 0, 2. Remember, we look for repetition here, but no x is listed more than once. So that means it is a function. And then it says give the domain and range. Since we can name the points, there's only 4 of them, we should list them. So -3, -1, 0, 2. And the range are the y values. And remember, if one's repeated, we don't repeat it. So we just write 2, 0, 3. Okay, so B. I look down the x's and I go, whoa, wait a minute. Look at, I have 2 listed twice. Once it is paired up with -4, the next with 3. And the definition of a function says each x can only have one y value. And the x value 2 has 2 y values. For that reason, it's not a function. And the domain would be 2, -1, and 0. And the range, and remember, we don't list any values twice. That's why I only listed 2 once, would be -4, 0, 1, 3. But it's not a function because the x value 2 is assigned 2 different y values. Okay, last one on lesson 4, and then we get to start the big, huge packet. Is the graph in number 3 above a function? So here's number 3. Does this graph pass the vertical line test? Let's pass a vertical line down and see. I only intersect it once. So yes, it is a function because I only hit it once with a vertical line, and you can try others and you just hit it once. So we are going to write yes, or let's just write function. Then it says give the domain and range. So now on this one, I can't list the points. There's way too many points. Those arrows, there's an infinite number of points on this. So whenever I have a graph, remember what we learned earlier, I have to use interval notation. So X, left to right, is my domain. Left forever, right forever. So this graph is just going to keep getting wider and wider and wider. So every single X will be, because the arrows tell us left forever and right forever. So we learned when it's left forever and right forever, we write negative infinity to positive infinity. Range is bottom to top. So I see this graph goes down forever. So the lowest y value is going to be negative infinity. And then roll your pencil up. So it goes down forever. And roll it up, roll it up. What's our highest y value? That would be 4. Is the highest y. It's not an open circle, so we put a bracket with a 4. And several people on the test write that backwards. But if you remember right, I told you function notation. Whenever you do the interval notation, smallest numbers first, largest second. Smallest number first, largest second. This is the leftmost, this is the rightmost x. This is the lowest y, this is the highest y. So order does matter, so make sure you're very careful with that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the video, and we'll start the next one with lesson 5. So if you have not printed out that big packet, go ahead and do so.